Hi, my name is Melissa Sibley, and I'm a structural project manager at DCI Engineers in Austin, Texas. Today I'm going to be reading a book called Look at That Building, a first book of structures by Scot Ritchie. Buildings all around us. You've probably noticed that your house has floors, walls, and windows. But did you know it might have a foundation, a frame and beams too? Let's go for a walk with our 5 friends to find out about how buildings are put together. A building is a structure, something that's made of different parts. Buildings are all around us and have lots of different uses. Home plans. Sally's dad has built her a tree house. Her friends have come over to see it. What a great little building. Everybody's having fun except Max. He can't climb up to join them. People build everywhere, on the water, on top of cliffs, in trees, and even underground. Maybe Max needs his own house. Let's go to the library. We can get a book on how to build a doghouse. And we can look at buildings on the way. Firm foundation. Yuli thinks that such a deep hole must have taken a lot of digging. Martin is watching the construction workers pour concrete. This foundation is going to be very strong. A foundation is the lowest part of a building. It keeps the rest of the building stable by anchoring it securely to the ground. The taller a building is, the deeper and larger its foundation has to be. Some skyscrapers' foundations go 4 floors underground. A place to stand. Next stop, the library. Pedro is making sure the floor is solid enough to hold all these books. A floor is the surface we stand on in a building. Floors are made of a very durable material so that they last a long time. Floors can be made from many different materials, including wood, stone, dirt, and concrete. Look up. As they leave the library, Nick notices the beams above his head. They are wide and very long. How many beams can you see? A beam is usually a long, thick piece of wood, stone, or metal. It is very rigid so that it can support floors, ceilings, and other building parts. You can't always see the beams, but most structures have them. The first beams were probably made from tree trunks. Nature's buildings. Some animals build their own homes. Too bad Max can't build his own doghouse. Yuli decides they will just have to do a great job for him. To make their nests, wasps chew tiny bits of wood into a pulp. Then they spit out the pulp and pat it into place with their feet. Once it hardens, they will have a waterproof home. Most birds make nests too. They use twigs, leaves, and sometimes even spider webs. They weave the materials together to make a place to raise their young. What other animal homes do you see? Up the wall. Yuli looks in a window at her school. She read at the library that walls do more than just hold up the blackboard. Walls do many important things. They divide a building into rooms and keep the outside. They also help keep the roof up. Ancient castle walls were made of stone. They could be 6 meters, that's 20 feet, thick. Frame it. Pedro looks up at the skyscrapers. He can see right through one of them because it is just being built. Pedro is looking at the building's frame. Frames can be made of wood, steel, or concrete. A frame gives the structure shape and support. Other parts, like beams and walls, are built on top of the frame. A frame is sort of like our skeleton. Without it, there'd be nothing holding us up from the inside. Super shapes. Sally's been to the city hall before. She remembers the dome. Look how big it is. 3 shapes are used in a lot of buildings because they're so strong. An arch is a structure that is curved at the top. The arch shape helps spread weight around. A dome is also curved at the top and helps spread the weight of a structure. It can cover a large space with few supports. A triangle is the strongest shape. Lots of weight can be added to a triangle, and it won't change its shape. Cool columns. The columns of this bus shelter remind Yuli of trees. They remind Nick of the columns on his porch at home. Columns are used to hold up parts of a structure, such as the roof. Because they support so much weight, they have to be made of sturdy materials. Columns are like beams, except one is vertical and the other horizontal. They both provide support. Indoor, outdoor. Sally loves to look in through the big windowed door at the fire station. The door lets light in and lets fire trucks out, in a hurry. Most buildings have doors and windows. Doors allow people, and pets, to come and go. Windows allow light, or sometimes a nice breeze, to come in. Not all doors and windows are in the wall. Sometimes they're in the roof, or even in the floor. A roof over our heads. It's raining. Time to find somewhere dry. Martin suggests that they go back to the tree fort. Pedro is glad they will have a roof protecting them. A roof is the top covering of a building. It shelters the building from the weather. Some roofs have grass growing on them. They're called green roofs because they help the environment. Back to the treehouse. The gang is happy to be back at the cozy treehouse. Max is still downstairs, keeping dry on the porch. Soon he will have a cozy house of his very own. I can't wait to start building Max's doghouse. I'm glad we found this book at the library. Now we know where to start. Let's start with the foundation. Make a mini doghouse. Here's a plan for making a mini doghouse. You'll need marshmallows, craft sticks, construction paper, scissors, glue, and tape. Step 1. Build a frame for the floor using marshmallows and wooden sticks. Step 2. Add the frame for the walls. Step 3. Add a peak for the roof. Step 4. Ask a parent to cut the paper to fit the roof and walls. Step 5. Glue and tape the paper to the frame. The end.